Hey there, I'm Dave Carter here at the EW and People Video Studio at the Toronto International Film Festival. And I'm joined right now by Ethan Hawke and Ewan McGregor, the stars of Raymond and Ray, as well as their writer-director, Rodrigo Garcia. So nice to see all three of you for bringing together two of our favorite people, Ewan and Ethan. How did you know that they would be such a good fit together?
Well, I didn't, because you have to roll the die, but when I spoke to Ewan, he said, yeah, Ethan, I've always wanted to work with him, and it would make sense if we were brothers. And then I spoke to Ethan, and he said, oh, I love Ewan, we'd be perfect brothers, or half-brothers in this case.
Okay, so you haven't worked together, but had the two of you hung out before? Were you just fans of each other, mutual friends? What's the connection?
We knew each other from really a long time ago, from when Ethan was working with Jude Law on Gattaca. Jude and I were mates, and so we knew each other from then a little bit.
That's 25 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
Sorry.
It's just the truth. Yeah.
And then we sort of bumped into each other along the way, but no. I always assumed I would work with Ethan. I always hoped I would.
There was a movie we were supposed to do together that didn't happen.
What was that?
Well, I don't know. You remember Andrew Nichols' next film, after Gattaca? He wanted you to be the star of and me to play the villain.
The Border film.
Yeah, which was a phenomenal script. And so I thought we were going to work together 20 years ago. And then we would just run into each other at events like this, you know, passing each other in hallways and watching each other's work. And I think we were lucky because we both knew Rodrigo separately. So we had our own relationship with Rodrigo. It is true that Ewan was first, which always hurt my feelings a little bit. But, you know, I was always like, why go to Ewan and then ask Ewan if I'm okay? Why not go to me and ask if Ewan's okay? You know what I mean? He showed his cards. But we got over that hurdle.
Well, I've known you longer.
But also,
and that makes it worse.
That's true.
He'd worked with you already.
Yeah.
So he hadn't worked with me. So in actual fact, you were first.
Well, but he directed you first.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But the movie is Raymond
and on
Ray,
and on and
he's
on.
Raymond,
That's
so
true.
he is
That's
first.
True. So he's technically top billed.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Now, I did look it up, and Ethan, you guys are basically the same age. I think you're like 4 months older than Ewan.
And it shows in my wisdom.
But what's interesting is that, okay, so in the movie you guys are meant to be half-brothers, and I loved watching the two of you take on these roles because it seemed as if you guys worked hard to make them, you know, obviously they're very different in a lot of ways, but they're meant to be half-brothers, so there's got to be some similarities there too.
We're joking about it now, but I really wanted to work with Ewan a lot. And I say this in all seriousness, that people of your own generation that you watch work, your first instinct, even if they're good, is to just be jealous and discount them. You know? And so when somebody overcomes the jealousy hurdle, where you actually decide, like, no, I'm not going to waste any time being jealous. This person is just flat out great at what they do. Right. Watching each other's work, watching each other handle the industry, how you handle the ups and downs of this profession and personal lives. And so I felt dead positive that our work ethic was going to be in a similar terrain. And I was really just proved right. And we both loved the script. When I first talked to Ewan about it, I thought we would have to do, if Ewan thought when Rodrigo wasn't around that the script needed a lot of work, then I knew we'd have to have a lot of rehearsal and figure out what you were seeing. But we both loved it. It was coming up with all the idiosyncrasies. I'm going to talk all day. You guys can go. I got this.
As long as you're praising the script, knock yourself out.
Anyway, that's how I felt. I felt like this guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to play his character. He's doing his work. If we didn't know each other at all, or the script wasn't as well written, we might have needed to do a lot of tap dancing to make sense out of it or make it rich. But it was there for us. Yeah.
Well, and also what's fun is, like, there are these great differences between the two of you, too, particularly the wardrobe, the posture of you both. I mean, Raymond, your character, Ewan, is a little more proper,
amazing,
right?
You know?
And Ray is just like you right now.
Yeah.
So was that all in the script, Ewan, or was that something that you guys worked with the costume designers once you were there to figure all that out?
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very well drawn in the script, totally. And then I guess, you know, we both take that and turn them into somebody that, you know, who we see in our imaginations.
But that physicality that they each have, you know, that was not described in the script at all. I think you guys, you know, I didn't know how these guys moved or talked or sat back,
did
until we were there.
We did the first scene of the movie first, as I remember, and it's a big, long scene, and I remember leaving that day, I had such a good feeling, because Rodrigo is incredibly experienced at this point in his life and knows how to make a movie.
It's an elegant way to say my age. I really didn't enjoy that.
No, I felt it doesn't have to be difficult. You can do good work and have a really bad time and make it all really hard, but these two were both completely prepared, and when you have a well-drawn script and the director knows how to shoot it, the actor's imagination can just leap from there, and things like the posture and attitudes and dynamics between us, they start to happen all by themselves, like yeast rising, poetic. Yeast rising.
I remember you saying that first time we
like
talked.
Yeast rising.
You didn't say like yeast rising, but you said something like, you said, I just want to play it. That's so well written.
So you guys are these half-brothers. You found out that your father has died. You have not seen each other in a few years, and the film follows you as you go to his funeral. A lot of the movie takes place on one day in a hot afternoon at a cemetery, and one thing that was going through my mind is, obviously for a few weeks you were filming scenes that take place in that one day. How many copies of the same wardrobe did you guys have?
Oh no, I think they just washed them. I think at
Come
night
on.
when we were I don't know.
And they were digging.
Right.
Yeah, but the truth is, spending that like a month of our life in a cemetery was fascinating.
Yeah.
And your last day when you drove away.
We mustn't talk about the
we mustn't
gravestone
talk.
that I might have bumped with the car.
Yeah, you might have accidentally done some
Accidentally
damage
bumped
there.
someone's gravestone.
We'll keep that between us. Well, Rodrigo, I don't want to give anything away that's major, but there are some really fun things that you learn. I hope you don't mind me bringing this up. So their father has these really interesting demands as far as how he should be buried. He wants to be buried in a very simple wooden box as opposed to a more expensive, elaborate casket. He wants his sons to actually dig the grave themselves, which is a bit of a shock. Was it fun for you in the writing to imagine all of these kind of not typical, normal things that this man would want his kids to do after he's dead?
You know, if you're going to make a movie about a funeral, it begs to be eccentric. Otherwise, I mean, it sounds horrible to say it, but funerals are very much alike, except for people who are suffering them. And I think this, it gave the men the opportunity to find out things about their father that they didn't know and communicate with the father. Of course, the father's the only one doing the communicating. There's something nutty about someone dying. I mean, I don't want to make it trite, but it's a mind-blowing moment in people's lives, and I thought, okay, I have to surprise these guys and in a way sort of shock them out of their stupor. They're a little bit stuck in their lives.
Yeah.
And I think, you have to put a rocket up there, Ray and Raymond's ass.
Let me finish by putting you guys on the spot just a little bit, if you don't mind. The two of you have done so much great work over the last almost 30 years. Really, 30 years. I want to know what everybody's favorite Ethan Hawke performance and favorite Ewan McGregor performance is. And I'm going to start. I'm going to start. I love First Reformed. So intense and great. And I'm a massive fan of Beginners. I just love that whole movie, particularly the stuff with the dog and Christopher Plummer. So, Rodrigo, do you have favorites of these guys?
I mean, too many. Big Fish, Beginners, Moulin Rouge. So, there's a triptych. Brown, yes, that was unique.
Okay.
We both had just had an experience with the limited series. The Halston was an incredible performance. We can't undervalue Obi-Wan just because it's so popular.
Yes.
It meant the world to me when it came out that somebody carried Alec Guinness's torch so bright and did such a good job with it. But the ones, Trainspotting, Big Fish, Moulin Rouge, I mean, the thing that I enjoy about Ewan's work is the consistency from different genres, dramas, comedies, science fiction. What's that? You did that Polanski movie? Not Polanski. Yeah, Polanski. I love that.
The Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I mean, you've worked with so many great directors, and I think that's the journey of the life of an actor is can you be in different filmmakers' imaginations and do your work successfully? I mean, to be a Tim Burton or Baz Luhrmann, all these different kinds of films, and still have your own integrity.
Yeah.
And keep doing it. So,
What's your...
But Ewan as Raymond and Ethan as Ray.
I watched that once we'd been speaking to each other, and I knew we were going to be working together. And that performance is fucking off the charts. Like it's so ballsy that it shouldn't work, you know, but it totally does, and it's so beautiful. And also, you produced, you wrote. I mean, it's like you were in charge of that piece, and it's a difficult piece to write, I'm sure, and to put on. And it was just absolutely breathtaking. I loved it from start to finish.
wow.
Well, it's a pleasure to watch you guys together, and congratulations to all three of you on this beautiful film. Raymond and Ray, it comes out in October in theaters and also on Apple TV+.
Right.
So check it out.
Thank you.
And stick with us here on People NEW for more coverage from Toronto 2022. See you soon.